At one time on Leon, not long ago, there was a camp of tents and stuff. The city came in and finally moved them out. They moved them to what was called Tent City. And from there, now they've abandoned the tent city, not the people, but the security, the bylaw, the city, pretty much have abandoned every homeless now that they're out of the news. Leon at night is clear now. The cops come by on a regular basis to make sure that anybody sleeping there is arrested and thrown in jail. That's what we've been told. People down here on Leon, they think we're homeless because we choose to be or because we're just crazy. It's not that at all. We have mental health issues, yeah, a lot of us have it. But we also self-diagnose. The doctors diagnosed, people with the wrong thing, or they're tired of hearing the doctor say, well, here, try this, try that. You're a damn guinea pig to the doctor. They don't look at you as a person when you're on the street. They look at you like you're just some street rat. And there are people out here that know how to build houses and everything. Give them a chance. You'd be surprised. Who is it? Who is it?
On November 26, 2019, the city of Kelowna moved their ever-growing tent city on Leon Avenue over to 2 temporary locations. One in a park behind the Kelowna Curling Club, and the other over by the Knox Mountain. This was a move directed by the Kelowna Fire Department, who informed the city of the fire risk on Leon Avenue due to the proximity of the tents in the area. A lot of pressure has been put on the city to provide a long-term solution to fight the crisis of homelessness in Kelowna. These 2 outdoor overnight sheltering sites have, to some extent, provided a temporary solution to the crisis. Some of the residents of the Knox Mountain neighborhood have been somewhat displeased with the selection of the location for the sheltering site. This location has been abandoned regardless. Throughout episodes 1 through 4, we've been primarily covering the topic of addiction, substance abuse, and its correlation to the state of homelessness for many in Kelowna. In this final Kelowna episode, we'll shed some light on the topic of mental health. A study by a group of BC researchers indicated that almost half of people who are homeless have experienced traumatic brain injury at some point in their life. This severely affects the mental and physical health of many experiencing homelessness. Traumatic brain injury has been closely correlated with substance abuse, suicidal ideation, poor mental health, among others. Typical mental disorders are schizophrenia, bipolar affective disorder, anxiety, and dementia. On the other hand, with regard to drug addictions, a great number of persons experiencing homelessness have had ties to child abuse or neglect. This most often results in substance abuse disorders as adults. For the purposes of this episode, we'll be talking about fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. Conditions in a person stemming out of a mother who consumed alcohol during a pregnancy. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorders are the leading known cause of developmental disability in children. In FASDs, alcohol in the mother's blood passes to the baby through the umbilical cord. This causes problems for a developing baby during pregnancy. The baby's brain, which develops during the entire period of pregnancy, is affected. the child may end up with physical problems like growth deficiencies and problems with behavior and learning. Where the central nervous system is damaged, a child will likely exhibit mental disabilities. The fact that this birth defect syndrome is entirely preventable goes to show there needs to be more education and exposure about the topic, especially with expectant mothers. There is no safe amount of alcohol to consume during pregnancy. We went on an expedition to the outdoor overnight shelter site with Jessie, who was featured in our last episode.
This evening we'll be going down to the encampment that's down by the curling rink and handing out some supplies. Our supplies simply consist of very basic necessities, such as water, toothbrushes, toothpaste, sanitaries. So as you can see, Leon is looking a lot different than it did about a month ago. Now at the end of the street, we have a no camping sign placed up from bylaw. We try to restrain from giving out large items such as blankets and clothing. There are other agencies where the homeless can obtain items for warmth. The city is urging people not to donate directly to persons set up here, but rather to donate to nonprofits.
Over the last 2 days, he was living here homeless.
Only 2 days ago, a gentleman had been reported dead at Tent City. The cause of death isn't clear yet, but it is freezing outside, and most persons would be at risk of hypothermia, that is for sure. There is a huge media presence here. We would love to hear from the family of the grieving, but we didn't want to come across as disrespectful in any way, as there is already lots of media coverage in this event. We did spend some time listening to some of the eulogies by family and friends of the deceased. This gentleman showed us where the tents would usually be set up. It appears rather abandoned tonight. Most people have moved into one heated tent space where we just came out of. With the opening of Welcome Inn on Ellis Street soon, hopefully more of the homeless community will have opportunities to access shelters rather than have to set up tents and take them down on a daily basis.
In Kelowna, the Canadian Mental Health Association offers help for mental illnesses. The CMHA strives to promote the mental health of all through its wellness programs. They support the resilience and recovery of people experiencing mental illness through public education and providing direct services and supports through their facilities. Foundry Kelowna, operated by the CMHA, is a youth and family clinic that provides services addressing mental health and substance use issues. Also available in Kelowna is the Here to Help program, a project put together by 7 leading nonprofit agencies. It provides information on mental health and substance use through a very well thought out resource library and other platforms on their website. Anyone in need of help can also call the BC Mental Health Support Line, a free 24-hour service. The The Ministry of Children and Family Development is an organization for child and youth mental health. They provide direct and contracted community-based mental health services to children, youth, and their families on a voluntary basis. It's been a great achievement that the City of Kelowna has come into agreement with BC Housing to provide an alternate shelter in the downtown core, dubbed the Welcome Inn. In addition, a BC Housing initiative for a 40-bed shelter in West Kelowna was recently approved by the West Kelowna City Council. With a lot of pressure on the city to come up with a solution to aid in the fight of homelessness in Kelowna, we're glad to be ending this final Kelowna episode on a fairly positive note. Through the Journey Home strategy, a lot is being done to provide short, medium, and long-term solutions to shelter the homeless population in Kelowna. The Seelix people were the first inhabitants of this region. For this reason, we acknowledge this production to have been filmed on their unceded territory. Stay tuned for Season 2, filmed in the downtown Eastside Vancouver come summer 2020.